Next to Doncaster, where Nigel Farage was repeatedly heckled by anti-racism protesters during a speech announcing his party's candidate for the Doncaster mayoral election.
Well, that's right. The Reform UK leader was speaking for less than a minute before a succession of hecklers interrupted his speech, one after the other.
Well, our political correspondent Charanpreet Kaur saw it all unfold. It wasn't the most welcome of receptions for Nigel Farage, was it?
It wasn't, Lara. It really was protester after protester. One of them would get up and shout something by the time that they were wrestled out of the room by security and the other people spectating had stopped shouting. The next one would stand up. It's a technique that Reform UK themselves told me they describe as rolling thunder. And I think that's a pretty apt term because it really did create this rumble of disturbance that drowned Nigel Farage out as he started to try and speak. Well, Stand Up to Racism have since claimed responsibility for that protest, not Antifa as Nigel Farage claimed when I spoke to him. We also spoke about the internal divisions that Reform UK have been experiencing. One of their MPs, Rupert Lowe, has been suspended. The party say that an independent investigation found that he's been found guilty of harassment towards two women. In any case, Nigel Farage doesn't think that or protesters will hurt his chances at the ballot box. That didn't go too well, did it?
Went brilliantly.
8 protesters?
Oh, we're going to get more of that. So what we know is that Antifa, who are an American organisation, often very violent, often masked, they came to an event I did in Cornwall the other week. It was pretty unpleasant.
You can't prove that all of those were from Antifa.
What we absolutely know is that Antifa and an organisation that call themselves Stand Up to Racism, although quite well that should apply to us, I don't know, have had meetings and have been training to disrupt the reform campaign over the next month.
Well, clearly there's a strength of feeling here. They were saying things like refugees welcome here. I heard them say, Mr. Farage, you're a racist.
Free Palestine, yeah. Don't worry about it.
Do you think protests shouldn't be allowed at your rallies?
Quite how Jewish members of the audience felt, I don't know. I think the point is we should respect the right of other people to have their say, within democratic limits, and then let the people decide at the ballot box.
You want to win big across the local elections in this region. Do you fear that the division at the top of your party might have hurt your chances?
No, I really don't actually. I think, one person...
A fifth of your parliamentary party?
Well, yes, but one person who takes a different view on some policy areas, clearly takes a different view. I put it to you, if any member of your organisation faced serious charges from employees, you would suspend that person awaiting the outcome. And that's what we've done.
It's already pushed a councillor in Yorkshire to quit.
I felt a bit for her, Maria Botel. If you're just one councillor from Reform on a council surrounded by Labour and Conservatives, it's not a very comfortable place. But she left one day, the next day 29 councillors joined, so you've got to put it in some sense of perspective.
OK, let's talk about Labour's plans tomorrow. Just under 400,000 people across Yorkshire and the Humber claim PIP. It's planned to be squeezed tomorrow. Do you agree with those plans?
Well, you see, Labour say they're going to squeeze PIP, but they're talking about a £5 billion reduction over the next few years. But the amount of payments and the amount of people claiming it, it's due to go up from 70 billion to 100 billion anyway. So they're not really saving anything, frankly.
So you'd go further than the government?
Oh yes, I mean look, I think here's the thing. Working people are paying more tax than ever before as the tax bands get frozen, and then more and more people get dragged into 40p taxation. And I meet working people who say, why are we bothering? The benefits trap is all too real, and I bet you within a 5-minute walk of here, we could find you somebody. A woman at the door would say, I'd love to go to work, but if I work for more than 16 hours a week, I lose all my benefits and I'm worse off working. That's what we have to address.
So possibly a rhetorical question, Charanpreet. Can we expect Mr Farage to be cheering on the Chancellor tomorrow?
Not quite, Michael. I mean, Reform UK's fundamental economic policy is to slash taxation and slash benefits to pay for it. That would include benefits like PIP or personal independent payments, which are for people on long-term sickness. The question now is whether that will persuade voters in our region ahead of the local elections on the 1st of May. And we will, of course, do our best to talk to all the other party leaders about their plans ahead of that election date.
OK.